Welcome to the Grunt Free Press Podcast. And yeah, if I sound a little hungover, it's because I'm still recovering from the big episode 200 blowout bash. This is episode 201, the start of a new era. I spilled some cola on the soundboard, so that thing's toast, that thing's gone. But if you would like to begin the donations for a new one, head on over to www.gruntfreepress.com. The donation button is still there, the bottom of the main page, along with everything else, which is still the same, just how I left it. Although, from 1 week of debauchery into another, hey, I'm on vacation now, and as per usual, I have no life at all, so my only plans are just playing and streaming mediocre original Xbox games all week. So, you can watch that on the site anyway, you know, it's fucking the Twitch video feeds up on there. So, I'm Absolute Deicide. Podcast at gruntfreepress.com is the email address, and let's get this disaster over with so I can wallow in my own filth for a week. So let's start off with some news. Old news, sure, but I wouldn't have it any other way around here. A new Ghost Recon was announced last week, like almost 2 weeks ago now at this point, like a week and a half ago. But work with me here. So, unfortunately, it was not a new Future Soldier, which, surprisingly, I mean, I actually saw a lot of comments during the Ghost Recon reveal. A lot of people were saying the same thing, where, you know, people seem to want fucking Future Soldier 2. Even though everybody fucking bitched and moaned that fucking, you know, when the original Future Soldier first came out, there's a lot of fucking like, oh, you know, that's not real Ghost Recon, you know what I mean? And when that game was new, people didn't seem to like it, but, yeah, but believe me, I fucking remember. I played that fucking game so much that my disc, split. Like, I have like fucking like shattered in my 360 is playing that shit like every fucking day. What we're getting instead is Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which looks to be like an update / sequel to Wildlands, Ghost Recon Wildlands. And, whether that is good or bad, like that's a good or bad thing, that looks a lot like Wildlands, I couldn't really tell you because I never played Wildlands. I mean, I just fucking never got around to it. I think I own it. I'm pretty sure I got it for free, maybe with the Division 2, I think. Or it's like, oh, if you buy this, whatever, pre-order it, you get a free game from like Uplay or whatever. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I get fucking Wildlands like that. I don't know, maybe that'll turn out to be like a vacation game. I'll just fucking play that. Along with all the other fucking vacation games I plan on playing that I'll never fucking get around to. You know, all the reviews that I won't write that, you know, it's like fucking a week off and whatever. That's how it always fucking works out, doesn't it? Or it's just fucking like, I got all these plans, a week off, I'm gonna fucking do this and that. Fucking record, whatever, you know, write a fucking review and for every game I play, and then fucking, nope, week's over, didn't do shit. So yeah, Breakpoint takes place on a fictitious island that's some sort of high-tech research facility for an arms corporation. Lots of people are mad that, this is the first time a Tom Clancy game isn't set in like a real world location. They weren't like fucking like, oh, it's some fucking whatever, Fiji or like whatever, like some fucking island somewhere. They just made up a fucking island. But I mean, come on, like who gives a fuck? I mean, it's science fiction. The Tom Clancy game, they try to keep it somewhat grounded, sure, but the games have always been pretty fucking off the rails. Like, it's not even like close to like, you know, like real world shit. Since, I don't know, probably like the original fucking Rainbow Six and fucking like Ghost Recon, you know what I mean? Like those original games are kind of more, it's like, it's almost, you know what I mean? But they've had like personal fucking drones and Predator camo and shit. Even like Rainbow Six Siege, I mean, that's, people, they consider that pretty hardcore and gritty, but, you know, it's video gamey as hell, you know, when you're instantly setting up like the barbed wire and fucking seeing through walls or whatever, and, you know what I mean, electricity traps and all that shit, like fucking set up on walls, and just, here's a fucking reinforced like wall I just set up in a side, like shit, like it's not really realistic, you know what I mean? It's fucking still going for fun over anything, just with a more hardcore tone to it, you know? So, yeah, having this fake island, I mean, there are plenty of islands out there in the world that, you know, fucking, whatever, a rich guy, whatever, Elon Musk type of fella could just like, you know, buy and turn into a company exclusive research and development fucking, you know, spot where, you know, make their own country sort of thing. Borderline like James Bond villain island. You know, it's conceivable fiction, conceivable fucking near future fiction. Again, it's kind of what Tom Clancy shit's always been about. Speculative near future fucking sci-fi military stories types of deal. I assume the books are similar too. I mean, I got about 5 chapters into the fucking Rainbow Six novel, and I just couldn't do it. I fucking fell off. It's like, I don't know. It's fucking kind of boring. And in certain ways too, from the gameplay they were showing, it's guys, it's like, you know, it's sci-fi, but it's also going in a more realistic direction where it's not fucking Arma or anything like that, thank God. But they're doing like persistent injuries and like location-based injuries. So if you get shot in the leg, you're gonna be limping until you like make a splint for it. You know, if you get fucking shot in the head, I mean, your vision gets like blurry and shit. And some of those injuries you can just patch up by taking cover and like treating them quickly, like pulling out like a first aid kit and just fucking like getting rid of it and bandaging it up to stop bleeding, like shit like that. But other injuries you get, I guess, are more serious, and you have to like build a camp on the spot, like a, you know, makeshift pop-up fucking camp, and you have to like rest overnight and shit. That's the only way to get rid of other ones that are more serious. Well, there are also some survival elements that look like they came right out of the newest Tomb Raider. But yeah, hopefully Breakpoint turns out much better than fucking Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because that game was fucking garbage. That game sucked. Yeah, it's like showing the guys like, if you want to get camouflage, you can like lay down in the mud and fucking roll around and fucking like dirty yourself up and shit. So it's going to make it harder for people to detect you, you know, if you go in like the stealth route. And then on like the complete opposite end of the realism spectrum of more like the sci-fi type shit, it looks like there's fucking just like Terminator robots like walking around and shit. So, no, at Breakpoint, I think it looks interesting, to say the least. Comes out in October. And yeah, hopefully I should play Wildlands by then. Right now I'm reminding myself by recording this to play fucking Wildlands. So, maybe, hopefully by October, that'll happen. If I don't have a breakdown first, I played the aptly named Xbox game Breakdown. And yeah, that's a weird, interesting, extremely fucking frustrating game. It's also a one-shot the entire time, so fucking, it should have been Game of the Year 2004. It's, it's entire one-shot, just your point of view the entire time. So, yeah, entirely first person. It's just like first person too, like back when there were really no standard controls for first person games. And it's not even like a first person shooter. It's not even exactly a shooter. They do give you guns, you do shoot people with them and shit, but as far as that goes, I mean, there's a fucking, like, instead of like aiming, like pointing and shooting with like the right stick and shit, there's like an auto lock on system, so you just hit A and it just locks on to the closest person next to you, and you just kind of like strafe around in like circles around them, and they give you like an indicator for how likely you are to like hit your target, and it was like fucking like, so you want to just get closer to have a better chance of hitting them and not fucking wasting all your ammo, just like spraying, you know what I mean? So, that's it for as far as like the shooting goes. Just fucking, again, just lock on and try to get close, you know what I mean? And fucking not get hit in the process. But for the majority of Breakdown, you're punching and kicking and fucking blocking and in first person. So that is not fucking easy. The game in general is not easy. When I was playing it, I could actually pinpoint, again, I played this back in the day, probably in 2004 when it was fucking new. And when I'm playing it this time, it's like I could almost like pinpoint exactly when I stopped playing it 15 fucking years ago. Yeah, they introduced these bald fucking shirtless alien soldiers, Talon warriors or whatever. And you try like shooting them, whatever, your guns don't do anything to them, and you have somebody in your fucking earpiece, whatever, in the game, like, you can only run or whatever, so, you can't fucking fight them, period. So, you're running and you're hiding and shit, and there's a couple like sequences where you have like an AI companion with you, like, you're behind them, and they're like, we gotta hide in this fucking, under this desk or whatever, and shit like that. And then fucking, then it's just more like, you're running down hallways and going through doors. You have to like turn, there'll be like airlocks, whatever you want to call them, like security doors with like, valves on them, whatever, like fucking, doors you have to like turn a fucking wheel to open. And of course, everything you fucking do in the game is slow as shit. So it's you're stuck in like the fucking valve turning animation for like a full minute. Maybe it was fucking just like squeak, 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 turn the fucking valve, and meanwhile this fucking guy's behind you kicking you in the fucking back like a fucking pro wrestler, So yeah, there's like this sequence where you're running down fucking hallways and those creepy fucks are chasing you, and yeah, so I get to like this dead end where there's like another fucking guy, another fucking one of those Talon warriors is fucking like, he's just in like a dead end room. He's just fucking like walking in circles. And that's the only place he can go is fucking where he is. And you get one behind you, there's fucking one in the guy in front of you, and seemingly like fucking like nowhere to go, and they fucking like checkpoint you like right there. So you fucking get your ass kicked, you fucking die, you reload, and fucking you're just stuck there, you're fucking, and as soon as you reload it, you can hear the fucking guy behind you like stomping around, and then the other dude's like right in front of you, and it's like, you take fucking like 2 steps forward and get knocked to the fucking ground, and then you get fucking double teamed by 2 fucking like skinheads fucking stomping your face and while you're on the ground. Every black girl's fantasy. And yeah, I mean, you pretty much just die in fucking 10 seconds, and fucking 8 of those 10 seconds are spent on the ground as you just fucking looking up and just seeing fucking 2 guys just like kicking you in the fucking face, and there's nothing you can fucking do about it, Yeah, in the fucking game, when you get knocked down, it's fucking like, I'm just gonna take like 50 fucking hits. There's nothing I can fucking do about it until I get back up. So So yeah, but I get to that part, like I said, I had played it before, and I get to this fucking part where I'm just like reloading, and it's like, dude, what the fuck, and like walking around, and I'm like, dude, there's fucking like nothing here, and so I'm just like, dude, I just remember this from 2004, like what, 15 fucking years ago. I'm just fucking like, dude, I remember playing this and being fucking stuck at this shit then too. So yeah, I mean, there's like a dead end. There's an elevator off to the side. So you'd think I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna run in there and like hit the button for the elevator and fucking like that's it. But it fucking the button doesn't work, and then you're like stuck in the elevator. And the two of them are just fucking like, oh, I was running in there and fucking punching you and fucking murdering you. So you just get fucking trapped in there and fucking beaten to death. So what you have to do for that part, I'm like fucking like, all right, dude, I just don't know. You actually look up, and there's this like, the elevator actually doesn't work. There's no real indication of that. It's funny, so it's still like lit up and shit. But yeah, you look up and there's like a service latch or whatever, like on the roof of the elevator, that fucking thing, like that fucking door is open. So they want you to like jump up there, which by the way, jump in the game, you have to hit the black button to give you an idea of how the controls work in the game. So you have to like jump up, and then again, if you're just playing, I'm just fucking like, I don't know, I'll try to get up there. I'm jumping, nothing's fucking working. You have to jump, then you have to press X to hang, and it'll let you like hang from the ledge, and then you fucking from there you like climb up and whatever. So I mean, it's just like, dude, it's like a little thing which I don't know. It's just like it's not exactly well signposted. And yeah, there's quite a few of like those fucking instances, like those fucking just roadblocks in the game where it's fucking like, I'm going along, this game's pretty cool, and then what the fuck, dude? What the hell do I do? Like, there's just like no indication. There's like one room where it's just like rocks falling down and shit. And it's fucking, you know what I mean? It's like another, looks like a dead end, but it's fucking like, well, this rock you can climb onto, this one you can't, and you have to like hang from this ledge that has no indication it's a fucking ledge, and you have to crouch down. Oh, this one's a fucking invisible wall here, but not over here. It's like shit like that. It's fucking like, oh man, that's fucking frustrating. You know what I mean? But yeah, I did it. I got past that part this time. So that was some karmic justice. I persevered. Actually, I persevered. I beat the fucking game just out of spite, really, which is the best kind of reason to do anything. Yeah, I really have no idea why I did it. And I was fucking just, again, a couple parts. I'm like, dude, holy shit, why am I fucking doing this? But I did it. So, but yeah, to back up. So yeah, in Breakdown, you're playing an amnesiac named Derrick Cole, because amnesia was the go-to storytelling device back in the early 2000s golden era of games. That's how you know there's just gonna be there's gonna be a fucking plot twist at the end. So yeah, I mean, you wake up in a laboratory. There's a scientist behind a glass wall telling you what to do, and get up and just pretty much just like guiding you through the tutorial essentially. Go into this room, fucking pick up a gun. This is how you shoot and fucking all that shit. Jump, look up, look down, that type of thing. Yeah, and then you go back to your room and fucking it's like, all right, well, your dinner's there. You sit there, you fucking eat your burger and fucking whatever, fries or whatever the fuck, and then but it ends up that they poisoned your food, and you sit back down in bed like we're getting ready to pass out or whatever, and then some Matrix bitch fucking warps in and beats up some soldiers who are going to kill you in your sleep. I think Kojima fucking completely ripped that sequence off for the Phantom Pain. It's almost the exact same thing where you're fucking lying helpless in a fucking hospital bed, and then fucking like, oh, soldiers are coming up, and then some chick comes out of nowhere to fucking save you, and like that type of thing. I'm like, it's pretty much the exact same fucking thing as was in the Phantom Pain. Like, I think that I might be looking at some plagiarism there. Almighty God, fucking Kojima, you fucking hack. So yeah, so she makes you puke up your food and fucking, you just like escape the facility. You're shooting the shit out of anything in your way, basically. And like here, like early on, like Breakdowns, just there's like so much like potential. It's like, it's like a cool, like whatever, man. I'm kind of interested in the story and fucking, it's unique the way it fucking controls and shit. It's incredibly like advanced for the time that it came out. It looks pretty damn good too. It's like, you know, the voice acting's fucking solid, and it's a little silly at times, or, you know, the lines are kind of goofy, but it's almost like charming. I'm just fucking like, it's kind of like a cheesy like sci-fi movie and shit. It's like, it's kind of cool though. So, you know, the gunplay and the movement is like unique, you know, with the lock on, or you can just fucking, it's like, you can kind of duck behind cover and it'll like stay locked onto your target, so you can, you know, it's kind of cool. It's fucking like, all right, well, I'm locked on, and you see like the reticle will still be on the dude, and well, I'm gonna like duck out, you know, go straight to the right behind a fucking door or something, you know, behind a wall, and then fucking like pop out and fucking just like, lay into the guy and fucking like go back and shit. Even that chick that you have as a companion, like, she's pretty fucking like badass. She's fucking like running in and fucking kicking dudes in the face and fucking like stabbing them, like shooting with the fucking like handgun and shit. It's fucking, it's kind of cool to have her and like watching her, and she's fucking stays with you the whole time and shit. Pretty good. I mean, not really good like AI for her, but they make sure that she fucking follows you. If you get like too far ahead, you'll like look back and she's running like, you know, 200 miles an hour to catch up with you, which again is just like, it's just kind of like a funny fucking game and shit. You know, it's good, it's funny, it's, you know what I mean, like intentionally or not, it's fucking, it's like, it's just a cool, fun game to play at the beginning. You know, and yeah, all like the interactions you're doing, the way they're fucking like, the way they use the perspective again, whereas again, it wasn't like a standard, if you play like a first person game now, you pretty much know how it's gonna like control and shit. But yeah, the way they like play with the perspective, you know, if you can pick something up, it'll say like access or something in the corner of the screen to let you know it's something you can pick up and interact with. So, you know, you hit A and your hand will extend, like you see like your hand come out and like ready to grab whatever it is, and then you hit A again, you grab the object, whatever it is, you hold it up to your face, up to the fucking camera, and the guy like looks at it and fucking turns it around so you can see what it is, and you press A again and he'll use it, you know what I mean? So seems novel. It's like it's pretty cool again. But at first, but yeah, after playing for like a few hours, where every time you collect like a magazine for a gun, it's like, all right, cool, found a gun on the floor, you know, another fucking machine gun. You hold up the gun, you know, fucking stare at it, fucking go through the animation of like ejecting the magazine. Then like he looks at the magazine, then you have to like hit A again and shit. So, or even better, it's fucking, you know, you drink like sodas and you eat like rations for health and shit. And it's like, all right, so you see a ration, so you pick it up, look at it like you haven't seen like fucking like 20 of those fucking today. You know, I saw you eating fucking 20 the same exact looking rations today. Then you know, you sit there, you unwrap it, it's like a bar, you put it in your mouth, and then just fucking, you know, munch, and fucking, that'll fill up about like a quarter, like a quarter or so of your fucking health and shit, and then like, you know, you throw away the fucking like wrapper and shit. So it just takes a long time to like do anything, you know what I mean? It's fucking like, at first it's like, it's cool, I like it's more slow paced and shit, and then it's fucking like after like repeating the same shit for hours, it's fucking like, I don't want to fight. It's like, I'm done with this shit. So, I mean, I can get into what they were going for with like, you know, the deliberately slow like interactions, like they're trying to make the game more immersive, kind of like that fucking Alone in the Dark reboot, where you could open up your coat and you look down, you see like all the items you have in your inventory would all be like slotted into like your fucking like coat or whatever, like your overcoat. And you had to like blink and shit like that, you know? It's fucking like, but it just gets to be fucking annoying again after a while. It's fucking like, dude, I just want to, especially when you're fucking like dying and like reloading shit, doing it again, and fucking like, I have to like sit here and go through all this bullshit, looking at every fucking thing I'm picking up. Like how the fighting works, right? You have like, you know, jabs and uppercuts and, a couple combos at your disposal, but, really the only moves that fucking reliably work are the ones that are gonna like knock down the enemies, because once they're down, you can just keep them in a fucking loop where, you know, so they're down on the ground. You can just like keep kicking them while they try to get up, and like, you know, curb stomp them until they're fucking like dead. You know what I mean? But of course, again, I was saying before, like, conversely, if you get knocked to the fucking ground, you're more or less fucked. Like, especially if there's fucking multiple people around you, where it's fucking just like, oh, I'm just gonna be down on the ground for fucking 5 seconds, and they're gonna beat the fuck out of me. So, a lot of the time you'll be fucking like turned around too. It's fucking like, all right, so finally you get up and you're fucking like 180 degrees when you get back up, or it's like, where the fuck am I looking at? Like, where the fuck is, like, where are the guys that I was just looking at, like, beat the shit out of me? And it's fucking like, oh, kicked in the back, and you fucking like knocked down again. You get like caught up on walls and shit. It can be a real fucking crock of shit at times, where it's fucking like, I'm just trying to fucking fight these guys, and fucking like, I don't even know what the hell I can even do. Like, as you're down on the ground and shit, it's fucking, yeah, it's rough. So, I mean, as you progress through the game, they give you these upgrades that make it seem like fucking old Derrick Cole is going to turn into some fucking like unstoppable, like superhero badass. You know, it's fucking just more and more build up of fucking like, oh, he's getting more powerful and shit. You get injected with some accelerant serum, and, you know, fucking guitar riff will play, and your fucking maximum health fucking increases. You'll gain a new move or two. It's like, you know, 2 or 3 times like throughout the game. It's like, oh, you know, it's fucking, oh, I think it'll flash up, new move. Oh, you have some fucking super jab or whatever, like all this shit. And so, you know, you see that your health bar fucking go up and shit, and all that really adds up to is you can take like maybe like one hit more, maybe one hit before you die, really, and fucking. Then of course, you know, they're putting more fucking guys you're fighting anyway, so it's fucking just kind of like a wash or whatever. So you're still gonna get fucking tossed around like a bitch if fucking more than 2 people are attacking you at once anyway. So yeah, the further you go in the game, the more fucking bullshit they're gonna fucking throw at you at a time anyway. So it's like, oh, cool, I can take one more hit, and here's fucking, you know, instead of fighting 2 guys, here's fucking 8 of them. Cool. So yeah, towards the end of the game, you get like the last upgrade is fucking, you know, the ultimate accelerant, and fucking, you know, again, it's just like a syringe, and the scientist guy who was gonna give it to you gets like attacked and he dies, and you go into some fucking, you know, you see the fucking, the syringe fucking, you know, gets knocked out of his hands and flies across the room before he can give it to you. You go into some vents in the floor to fucking like, to go get it, and fucking it's just like, you know, a big deal. Like, you know, you go in there, you inject yourself, and then, you fucking, you know, your arms start fucking glowing with the fucking, oh, the ultimate power, you got it, and fucking, you burst out of the fucking floor, like you jump up in the fucking air and burst out of the fucking grating in the floor and slam down like fucking whatever, Iron Man or some superhero, just fucking like boom on the ground, and fucking all the enemies are like looking at you. And fucking, you know, there's like 3 or 4 fucking guys is fucking like, oh, you have the ultimate accelerant, and fucking just get my ass kicked anyway again, and fucking had to do the fucking, that sequence over and over again, because, yeah, I mean, it's like fucking, it's like a whole thing of like, oh, they're powering you up, but I don't think that they're powering you up as much as they fucking like think they are. Like, as much as like you would expect to fucking, again, it's fucking like, oh, cool, you can take one more hit. That's about it. Or it's like, here's like a special move that's fucking whatever, man. It's, you know what I mean? So, not quite, you know, what you would expect. It's fucking like, oh, cool, maybe I won't get my ass kicked. Oh, no, I'm still gonna get my ass kicked. But if I get knocked down to the fucking floor, like, there's not much I can do about that. Yeah, like the big move you earn from that last upgrade is you can jump high. You know, it's fucking like, oh, I can jump really high now. It's cool, you know what I mean? Although that's more useful than it sounds, because you can like hop around like an asshole to try to avoid getting surrounded, you know? It's fucking like, oh, a big group of guys, I'm gonna try to just fucking jump over them. It doesn't really work reliably to get out of, you know, it's like fucking like, I'm gonna jump over one, I get fucking like kicked anyway, or, you know, somebody with a fucking gun like shot me and whatever, so I still get hit. So, And then like whatever, you get like another special move too, where you can like send out like a shock wave to knock anybody down that's near you. So it's like, all right, that's kind of cool. Like you can fucking like whatever, you raise up your hands, you just fucking shoot out like a wave of, it's like a semicircle in front of you that knocks people down. So it's fucking, the shock itself isn't that powerful, I don't think, but it's fucking like, well, again, something to keep you from getting surrounded. You can fucking like do that. And, if you send a group of 4 or 5 people to the floor, it's fucking like, oh, cool. I'm surrounded. I'll fucking do that. Knock them to the ground, 4 or 5 people around the ground at once. But then they're still like grouped up though when they're knocked down. So you go over there and fucking like, try to get like a kick in or two while they're all down, then fucking like they all get up at the same time too. So it's fucking like, oh cool, well now I'm just fucking surrounded again. Yeah, and any fucking special move like that you do costs like some meter, like blue meter, let's call it fucking mana or whatever. So, and yeah, that doesn't fucking regenerate on its own. So it's not like you can just fucking, it's not like, oh, I'm just gonna just keep spamming the fucking shockwave if they keep coming to surround me and shit. Then fucking start like running and jumping away until you can fucking like do it again as it like regenerates. It doesn't work that way. It just doesn't fucking like that mana doesn't fucking regenerate. So, I mean, if you do kill somebody, when the enemies die, they'll drop orbs you can pick up, like, the red orbs are health and the blue ones are for mana. And to get those, of course, it's not like you just fucking like run over them and it fills it back up. You have to fucking interact with them and fucking, you get locked into a fucking animation when you're fucking like grabbing the orbs. So when you're fucking like absorbing them, so you can still get fucking hit when you're doing it. So it's fucking like, oh, I'm surrounded, this guy chasing me, and fucking like, oh, I'm almost dead, and fucking like, oh, there's a red orb, and fucking like, I'll go for that. And you just get locked in, your hands out trying to absorb it, and it's like, oh, I'm getting kicked and shit again anyway, and fuck, you know what I mean? So it's fucking, and they disappear over time too. So it's fucking just, you're fucked either way. And they don't even fill up that much fucking life or mana, so it's like, you can be on the fucking brink of death, fucking running around and avoiding dudes who are like shooting at you from across the room, and there's invisible guys somewhere, and fucking aliens just charging you, and fucking like, oh, get an orb that fills up like a quarter of your life, and then fucking one of those guys will just like slam into you and fucking take away like almost like half of your life anyway. So it's like, oh, cool, it wasn't really a good exchange, so it's fucking, and you'll die. Fucking, oh boy, do you die. Now, I don't want to say fucking Breakdown is a complete piece of shit or anything. I mean, it does some fucking really interesting and advanced things. Especially consider when it fucking like came out, 2004 or whatever. I'm not gonna say it's fucking garbage, but it's very unique in its fucking commitment to keep you in that fucking like first person perspective while you do things that aren't really considered strengths from that view, but maybe for a good reason. Like people don't try to do some of that shit, like fucking platforming, for example. There's an entire like extended section of the game where you're fucking like jumping on moving platforms and fucking like hanging from these tiny ledges and shit. It works for the most part, where it's fucking, it's like, all right, well, it's not, they don't make it so difficult that it's like pinpoint really, but you get to like certain parts too, where you just want to fucking punch a baby when you're fucking standing perfectly still on a fucking like moving platform, but somehow it just fucking like, I don't know what happened, you just fucking thing like goes out from under you, and you just fucking like die and shit and have to repeat the last like 5 minutes of shit that you just did. It's like, dude, what the fuck, dude? Like, why? Why does this go on for so long? Why does it suck so bad? And it's like I said before, like the voice acting is pretty good, and the lip syncing's alright. The facial models they use are, I think, really impressive for that era of game. There's plenty of fucking variety in the fucking environments too when you're going through the game. There's, you're driving a fucking Jeep, you're driving through like jungles and shit, and going through like portals to alien dimensions, fighting helicopters, a lot of fucking like office space, like office buildings you're going through. And they look similar, but it's fucking, as I'm playing, I'm like fucking like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like Fear and like Condemned and shit. just fucking going through like, people's fucking businesses and shit, and just it's they give you some dialogue choices, but I don't think they really have any fucking bearing on the game, where it's fucking like, oh, here's like 3 different choices you can do or whatever. I think it's only 2 they'll give you, but I don't think it's just like a little dialogue like difference maybe from like a response or whatever. But I don't think it's really fucking like branching path. It's pretty fucking linear. But as is the general rule for most of these fucking OG fucking Xbox games I've been playing, conceptually, it's like, oh, this game is fucking very ambitious, very cool, but right when you're starting to like get into it, was fucking like, ah, cool, dude, this game is like a hidden gem or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like I'm starting to get into it, and then you just like hit like a pile of bullshit, like like fucking 2 sections right at the end of the fucking game that almost fucking like broke me. I was having a literal fucking breakdown. So the worst one, right? You're in a white room, and these fucking waves of enemies spawn in. And yeah, first they give you like half a dozen fucking soldiers to fight that just like rush you down, like fucking just immediately just fucking, it's like, oh, they all spawn in, and then fucking just the whole group of them is fucking, you see them all just coming at once, they're fucking like rushing, right at you. And they move just about as fast as you do, so, and then they fucking like, they can like shoulder charge from a distance and like jump kick you or fucking like block your attacks and shit. If you're like, I see an opening, I'm gonna go up, the guy fucking blocked my combo, and you're stuck in this like 3-hit combo, and then like, oh, another guy just fucking comes and kicked me in the face, that's cool. So, like that's more or less like dumb luck, like whether you'll be able to fucking like group them up and fucking like do that shock wave a few times and fucking they'll die or whatever, or, just keep like picking away at like whoever's on like the outside, or just again like isolate one guy out of the group and just take him down. Pretty much luck. You're either gonna fucking do that, or you just get fucking thrown all over the fucking room, and you're dead in like 10 seconds. It's fucking like, oh, I'm gonna run in and get that. Oh no, I'm just fucking, somebody came from behind me or from the side. Just fucking, I'm done. So they give you like a checkpoint right before that room, but they don't like refill your life all the way. I mean, they do. I mean, I will say, like, they were pretty good. Any like checkpoints hitting the game, they might not fill your shit up like all the way, but at least they do fill it up. So it's fucking like, oh, I ran into this fucking room like almost dead, and it's not like the survival horror shit of like, oh, I have no fucking healing. You can't even like carry healing shit. So, it's like if you're at a checkpoint, you're almost dead, you know what I mean? You reload it, and they give you like whatever, almost like 3/4 life or whatever. So it's fucking like, all right, well, it's not that bad. At least they're doing that, But, I mean, you go into this, that first fight where it's fucking like, I want to make sure I'm fucking completely full up on life, so I don't want that little fucking couple, I want that little bit of life so I can take like a hit or 2 extra. So, yeah, they put out these 4 fucking ration bars on the ground, like right at that checkpoint. So, yeah, so it's fucking, so, every time you reload the game, you get to fucking, it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna fucking eat those bars on the ground. You say, I don't fucking know. You have to watch that fucking eating animation play out 4 times in a row, because also for some reason at that point in the game, they take away your HUD. So you actually have no idea how much health or mana you have until the fucking screen starts flashing red and you're about to fucking die. Like, there's no, like, all the shit that was on the screen, like the entire game, like the last, like, quarter is not there for some reason. There's fucking, like, some, like, story shit of, like, you woke up and fucking blah, 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 and all your shit's gone and fucking, like, whatever. But you're more powerful than before, but not really. You know what I mean? But it's fucking, it's just like, oh, cool, I'm more powerful. I'm so powerful, I can't see how much health I have left. Unless, I think if you pause the game or something. But anyway, so, yeah, it's fucking, you have no idea. Like, you can't see, like, how much fucking mana you have or how much health. So, you're just kind of, like, guessing. And the only rate, it's like, oh, I'm trying to pull off some fucking special move, and fucking, like, oh, no, I guess I don't have enough, because now I'm just sitting there, and then you get kicked in the fucking face and you die because you have no fucking mana. So, yeah, so then you go on to wave 2 in the same room, and there's a bunch of fucking invisible guys who, I mean, they're not really that hard to deal with. Again, as long as you kind of like sneak up on it, whatever, walk forward, wait just for someone to like come at you, then like back up and just try to like draw them out one at a time. And they won't really chase you very far, so that's not that big of a deal. But then you get to these three big like Hulk guys, like the big like tank guys, and they're slow, but there's three of them like grouped up, and they stay on each other's asses. So if you go, it's like, I'm gonna go in fucking do like a jump kick on one of them, and fucking again, if they block, it's like fucking like, oh, my attack got blocked, and the other guy like who's right next to him is gonna fucking have time to like, do like a fucking uppercut on me. And there's a possibility of getting fucking like punched from fucking off screen somewhere, and one hit from those fucking the big guys, it fucking takes away like literally fucking like half your health will be gone when they fucking hit you. So that's yeah, not really that hard. Again, they're slow, but it's just fucking a matter of not getting fucked over like that. So yeah, then you get a group of like Quake aliens with guns, and they're usually not that difficult. They don't have a lot of fucking like hit points or anything, but every now and then you'll fucking get lit up by one of their charge shots that does fucking crazy damage. But as long as you keep fucking like circle strafing them, you're usually okay. Again, they have fucking, it's all ranged weapons, so it's almost like, when you're fighting with a gun, just fucking, all right, lock onto one of them and just circle strafe kind of deal, and not that bad. And then we get to the final wave of that run, where they throw in a mix of fucking everything. So you're getting chased down by like two fucking soldiers while you're getting fucking lasers shot at you from across the room. And occasionally you're getting fucking like stabbed in the back somehow, like possibly, it's like, I don't even know, I didn't think anybody was near me. It's like fucking, it might have been like some invisible guy who's like hiding behind a fucking like pillar or some shit. And again, you get knocked down. Fucking, oh, cool. Now I'm surrounded by fucking the two soldiers. We're getting fucking shot at and all this bullshit. And, again, how could you tell what the fuck is going on at that point? It's fucking, and every time you kill an enemy, another one of the same type will fucking just respawn in the fucking room. There's a little fucking shit on the side of the room. Fucking like, I killed a soldier, and another soldier came in and fucking replaced him and shit. So it's fucking, I don't know. It's fucking ridiculous. I was stuck there for fucking days. I mean, there's days of like, dude, what the fuck? It's like, guess this is what I'm doing today. It's trying to get past this fucking spot. You know what I mean? These fucking goddamn waves. Again, I can only play like an hour each day. I say days, but after like an hour and a half, I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Then I nearly had a fucking aneurysm, and I had to fucking stop. But it was making me fucking like depressed. I'm just fucking, dude, what the fuck, dude? It's like dealing with this again. I'm fucking like, I was feeling like pretty triumphant. I'm like, I'm finally beating this fucking game after so long getting stuck near that goddamn elevator. And what the fuck am I looking at here? Like, what is this bullshit? Every like 10 attempts or so, I'd make it to like fucking, it's like, I'm at the last wave. Holy shit, I could do it this time. And then fucking, I'm running in circles for like 20 minutes, just fucking, dude, just gonna play, like, keep jumping around and shit. And fucking, you play as fucking carefully as possible. And then the enemies just keep respawning, and fucking, I take catch a stray laser to the fucking face and die and shit, and it's fucking up, back fucking staring at the 4 rations again, going to fucking the first wave, and hopefully can get past that, and just, contemplating the meaning of life. So yeah, Breakdown is very fucking meta, I think. Fucking fucking hours I was just doing that shit. It's what am I doing? Just random shit fucking killing me. Somehow getting to that fucking like last part, the last wave, maybe like again like 1 in 10 tries, and just fucking, it just seems like impossible. What the fuck is going on here? So I look at a walkthrough for help, because otherwise I'm just gonna fucking like quit life. And in case you're wondering, if you haven't looked at a walkthrough from a game like this, yeah, a walkthrough for a fucking obscure game from 2004. Is the best you're gonna find is like probably like Game Facts or something similar like that, where just like a fan fucking typed, fan written fucking amateur, like poorly written, poorly organized, like text only guide, like no fucking pictures, no nothing, no video. full of tips, like fucking like, so you're reading it and it's just, like fucking like, oh, I don't know how I passed this part. Just keep trying. You'll get it eventually or whatever. You know what I mean? And fucking, this is where I got stuck. And like the guy will just end and be like fucking, I'll come back later and fucking do the rest of it, I guess. And, of course, from 15 years ago, and they never do. So yeah, for that section in fucking like Breakdown, like the guide I'm using, he's just fucking more or less like describing the enemies that spawn in each wave, pretty much like I just did. And that's like in a fucking like walkthrough. And then it says like fucking like, oh, try jumping a lot and kicking or whatever. It's like, oh, cool and fucking great. So yeah, any like specific help for that last wave. And they'll say like, oh, there's 3 tanks, there's 2 soldiers, like an invisible guy, and 2 fucking like gunners that'll spawn in. And when you kill them, they'll keep respawning until you kill enough of them of each type. It sounds like. So it sounds like fucking. It's like, all right, so I'm like, all right, well, I'll focus on the soldiers, like the guys who fucking like rush at me, because I can just kind of like go, keep fucking leading them around in fucking circles around the fucking room, and then get him behind like a pillar or something so I'm not getting shot and I can fight him one-on-one type of deal. So yeah, I'll keep doing that. And then but they just keep fucking like respawning. I'll take out like 10 of them, and this fucking like, I thought in the fucking walkthrough, I thought the guy was saying like fucking like, oh, it's like 5 of each, whatever, and then whatever, 3 of each, and every time they die, they'll respawn, but they'll like, that'll end. Like, that's what you have to do, is just keep like whittling them down. But it seemed endless, because it is. They just keep fucking respawning. That fucking guy, it is bullshit. All you have to do in that last wave, you just have to kill the last, you have to kill the 3 big guys, the 3 fucking like tanks, like that's it. And then fucking everything else is a fucking distraction, you know what I mean? You just have to find a way to kill those 3 fucking tanks, the big guys, which isn't even that hard really. Just run in, fucking hit them a few times, back out, and fucking go behind a pillar, like the same type of thing. But if only I had known that, maybe from a walkthrough, it would have been, maybe I would have spent like fucking 1 day on it, rather than fucking like 3. I'm just like, dude, what the fuck? So that would have been nice. So yeah, that's the grunt free pro tip for the week. When you're playing Breakdown on original Xbox, on that last wave, kill the tanks. So you're welcome. So yeah, other than that, I mean, again, the game Breakdown is like an interesting experiment. I mean, I just have fucking like mixed opinions about it, obviously. Another example of fucking, games from this fucking era, they're fucking getting there. I mean, they have like the idea, and like 75% of what they're going for is like really fucking cool. But fucking playing Breakdown can be frustrating as fuck. If the gameplay was tighter and it was just fucking, even if it was just like difficult, it would be fun. But it's just like a lot of times fucking like, oh, I'm not even having fun anymore. Like, I'm just fucking like stuck. You know what I mean? Really make you rage. Wink, wink. Fuck. Yeah, so Breakdown really made me rage 2. Get it? Rage 2? Yeah, that's 200 episodes of segues right there. So, yeah, you might think I'm burying the lead here, talking about Rage 2 this deep into the show. I mean, I was a big fan of the original Rage. I was one of a handful of people that was asking for a sequel. It seems like it was made by id Software. So, of course, I consider myself a fan of id. And also Avalanche Studios, who made Mad Max, which I like that game a lot. The newest fucking Mad Max game. So, yeah, it was Rage 2, fucking big game for me. The one I was hoping that I would play for like the majority of my vacation, I'd be like fucking like, even if it's like whatever, 20-hour game, maybe I'll fucking go through, play it again, try to 100% it, blah, 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 all that shit. And yeah, it didn't quite work out that way. I'll say that. So before I even get into what Rage 2 is, I should probably talk about what Rage 2 is not. Because this is it's another one that got fucking another game that got review bombed and shit, and there's just a lot of like false information out there from the usual faggots that like to like fucking whine about everything that's not some fucking gay ass hack anime game. The fucking Steam user reviews they're around, I think it was like the 30s at some point, like at the beginning. When it first launched. So, as I was fucking like installing the game, just kind of like looking at shit around. I'm trying not to like read like people's reviews and shit. Just fucking, like, what's like the general consensus on the fucking thing? And I'm like fucking like, this is bad. Like, it just looked fucking like bad. And I was just kind of like stealing myself for like, it's gonna be a pile of shit. Then, I'm fucking bracing myself for. So, I mean, but yeah, the first big complaint out there was that it was using fucking Duenevo or whatever, Duenevo, that fucking copyright protection software. So, yeah, everybody fucking complains about that specifically, but nobody can really give a solid reason why, why they're fucking complaining about it. Like, I've seen fucking, like, it fucking impacts the game performance. It makes the game run shittier when it has the fucking Duenevo on it. But then every fucking actual, like, comparison video I've looked at, like, will be like, this is a game with fucking that Duenevo, and this is without it, and fucking, like, here's how, like, this is what happens, and it can, like, maybe cause, like a 4 or 5 frames a second fucking drop, you know what I mean? But dude, I mean, like nobody could even fucking notice that small of a difference unless they're fucking like running like a constant fucking FPS counter on the screen. Which I'm sure some of these fucking retards do like all the time is one of these like, they quote play games, but they're just fucking like, what's the performance like? It's fucking, it's a fucking, fucking, ambient occlusion and fucking, what's the frames per second? And fucking, so, that might, you have to ask yourself, like, what's impacting your game fucking more, you know what I mean? That it fucking runs at like 55 frames per second instead of 60, or that you have fucking telemetry fucking data on on the screen the entire time you're fucking playing. Like what's worse, letting you know fucking, you have to see like what fucking temperature your PC's running at every fucking second, and the RPM for each fan, like how fast are my all of my fans spinning, and I was fucking that's not optimal, and you're monitoring that fucking what abnormalities are running up, and what's causing that, and blah blah blah, like chasing down all this shit, and rather than playing, because you're fucking autistic pretty much, like what's the real problem there? So, yeah, I mean, the real fucking people complain about Duenevo, really, like, again, I don't know if I'm even pronouncing that word correctly, if it's fucking Duenevo, Duenuvo, whatever the fuck, you know what I mean. The real reason they fucking complain, they don't like it because it's a fucking anti-piracy thing, and they want to fucking pirate the game, you know what I mean. And look, I really don't give a fuck about that. I mean, I personally, I pay for all my games fucking legally because I mean, for the most part, again, it's just been times that I'm just fucking like, I don't know, dude. Like, I think I owned this game in the past. I have no idea what the fuck it is, and I'm not paying like $200 for whatever. You know what I mean? And I can't get it anywhere else, so fuck it. I'm just gonna get it, or every now and then laziness. But I think I've earned. If I look around, I think I've earned my fucking stripes paying for fucking games. Again, it's like, I like, I actually like video games. I'd like to play more of them in the future. So, you know what I mean? So it's fucking, but I mean, if somebody's fucking legitimately fucking like poor or whatever, like, yeah, whatever, go for it. I mean, I guess this is really the only way you can fucking get your hand on a copy of fucking Rage 2 you could ever fucking play that game. You have to fucking copy it, what the fuck ever. But, though, I mean, if you do have a fucking PC that can run a game like fucking Rage 2, you can probably fucking dish out the $60, though, exactly fucking breaking the bank, or fucking, these days too, it's like, you can just fucking wait like a couple months, it'll be on sale, you know what I mean? In a year, you're probably going to be able to get it for $20, I'm sure. So, really, there's really no excuse, I think, really. I mean, the more I think about it, I get times I'm like, fucking like, oh yeah, maybe it's not, you know what I mean? It's fucking, I can find a couple situations, but no, not really. I mean, I don't know. But whatever. I mean, again, I really don't give a shit. Like, if you're a fucking like scumbag, I guess, go nuts. I really don't fucking care. But my real issue with that is, just like be honest about fucking like, I want to fucking pirate it, and fucking, don't post like bullshit reviews about how it's fucking, it's like, oh dude, this Duenevo, it's spying on you, because you have to like accept the fucking standard fucking, end user license agreement, and then fucking like, oh, like cherry pick out of that and be like, oh dude, look, see dude, it's fucking, like you're pretend you're fucking Columbo, because you fucking like, oh dude, it says, they can fucking like terminate the game at any time, and it's like, yeah, that's what everything has ever said, like, you know what I mean? So it's fucking that shit's been there. So, and if you're a fucking piece of shit, just fucking own that you're a piece of shit. I do. I have to be like fucking like, oh no, this is bad for consumers, because it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up, dude. I don't know. And fucking, Rage 2 was fucking cracked within like a day or two anyway. So it's fucking, then it got fucking like an update that removed fucking Duenevo completely. It's fucking, what's the point? There's no point of fucking even having that in there. It's fucking, it got cracked, whatever. Fucking like, here's an update, and it's fucking not in there anymore, and people are complaining about it, I guess. So there you go. So, I mean, like, regardless of like how you side on the issue of fucking like, oh dude, I don't like it or whatever, it's gone now, so you can fucking like scratch that off of fucking people. But again, probably like half the fucking bad reviews on there are fucking like, oh, I wanted to buy this game, but wink wink, but it has Duenevo, so I can't, like, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna leave a bad review or whatever, and they buy it and then refund it on Steam and write a shitty review, and it's fucking whatever, dude, bullshit. So, I was also seeing a fucking variety of like technical issues where it's fucking, the game won't launch, the game crashes, and the graphics look like shit, and the ever popular, it's not true full screen or whatever. So that's just kind of part of PC gaming, where you never know what fucking Frankenstein monstrosity people are trying to run the fucking game on. And I'm not going to call those people fucking like liars that can't get the game to run. I mean, it's possible they're having fucking like real problems for whatever reason. But I can say, me personally, I booted the game fucking booted right up, and I ran it on fucking like ultra settings and shit, and fucking super smooth, fucking looked and felt fantastic. Like, the game looks really good. I'm like, it plays really good and fucking looks great. I think I had maybe like one random fucking crash at some point, but it wasn't, that was it, and it wasn't even a big deal. It was fucking auto saved every time you do anything, so it's fucking that, whatever, man. It's fucking booted it right up. Like, I hope that doesn't happen again, and it didn't. So, I mean, I did have to use fucking display capture on fucking OBS, so yeah, I guess the not true full screen thing is real, but I mean, it's just like a minor annoyance, you know what I mean? It's fucking, it's like, I was like, I wonder if it is. Try doing like game capture, it's not working. It's like, I guess I have to use fucking display capture. Like, that's like the only thing that it really impacts. So I'm fucking just like, it looks a little bit worse in the stream than it should, but whatever, man, it still fucking works. And then I read multiple times, I was reading fucking, it's like, oh dude, the game is so short, you can beat it in 7 hours, or more specifically, what they write is, I heard you can fucking beat the game in 7 hours, because, I mean, you probably can. I mean, if you put it on fucking, like, easy mode and, just, like, laser focused on running to the fucking main missions and completely ignore everything else. But I don't see how that's necessarily even a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, it's a 7 or 8 hour fucking single player game. Like, okay, like that's pretty standard length as far as I'm concerned. It's just another fucking like uninformed fucking complaint from fucking this generation of fucking retards that are addicted to fucking speed runs and fucking YouTube videos where, faggots bitch about everything just like nonstop, you know what I mean? Now, I'm playing the game when I was about 15 hours in, and I'm like fucking like, I've only uncovered like half the fucking map. I'm like, uh-oh. like no, that's a fucking like nonsense fucking complaint. That it's like too short and you can just rush through it in like 8 hours. The more fucking valid criticism is there's way too much fucking open world blow. Like, there's too much fucking to it, you know what I mean? Too much, I'm not gonna say like too much content, it's just fucking like too much repeated content. It's fucking the shit that's there just to kind of like fill in like the open world. It's fucking like me, I'm like fucking, I'm gonna take my time and go off and explore shit. And like, if they cut out like the overworld entirely and made it like just like an 8 hour linear shooter, it would probably be a fucking better game. It's how it is now. I think it's incredibly fucking mediocre standard open world shit that they want you to do in there. You drive around and question mark pops up on your map. You go there and it's like, hey, it's an enemy base you have to clear out, or fucking like turret. And it's like, oh, it's standard, like it's a turret this there. It's fucking, that's what the mark was. It's like, hey, there's a huge fucking turret in the ground over here with nothing around it. And those turret fights fucking suck. It's literally just like a stationary tower that occasionally fires at you, so you have to like get out of your car, hide behind a box, and then fucking, as it's shooting at you, you hide, then it stops, you like strafe out, shoot it until it fucking dies. Like that's it. And but like that would be okay. It'd be like, it's kind of whatever it is. It's kind of a shitty fight, but it would be okay if you did that, like, I don't know, like 3 or 4. If there were like 3 or 4 of those in the game, if like that was it, it's fucking like, it's kind of a shitty fight, but whatever, man. You only need to do it like a few times. But yeah, there's about a dozen of those in the map where it's just the same fucking shitty fight you're doing. It's super boring. It's like fucking, as you get up, they have like different, I'll say like, enemy strength for whatever it is, and fucking like, here's this turret's level 1, but this turret's like level 8, and this one a level 10 turret or whatever. But all that is, they have fucking more health, so it takes longer to do, and it might like shoot out like 3 lasers you have to fucking jump over instead of 2, but it's just pretty much like, it's the same fight, but it takes longer to get through unless you fucking level up your shit. And in which case, it's pretty much the same exact fight fucking a dozen times, and as far as like clearing the bases out, like that's fun because like the shooting in fucking Rage 2 is great. I mean, it's basically fucking Doom combat where, it's fast, it's fluid, and they want you to constantly be fucking like moving around because, when you kill people, they explode into crystals that will like replenish your health. So you want to like go, get up close to people after you kill them and pick those up. Using the fucking powers are fun too. You sending out like a shock wave again, kind of like Breakdown, a little bit, but a shock wave that fucking strips off people's armor or fucking eventually turns them into just like goo. You know what I mean? If they have no armor left or it's powerful enough to kill them, it's fucking the guy exploded. That's pretty cool. You have like a singularity bomb thing that fucking will like create a black hole and just kind of like suck everything into it, and a ground pound, a fucking deployable barrier, fucking dashes and fucking like double jumps. It's basically fucking Halo. It's like every fucking Halo power up at once that you have in a Doom game. So I mean, really, what's not to fucking love about that? Well, I mean, it does get a little bit easy, anyway, you're fucking unstoppable after a few upgrades. Again, kind of the opposite of a little game I like to call Breakdown. And where this one's like fucking like, oh, I'm leveling up and now everything's just fucking like super fucking easy. And they don't really like throw in anything to be like, oh, well, this one counters. There's no like countering system really. It's fucking like, oh, this is good for one thing. It's good for everything. You know what I mean? It's just fucking just run right through it. Like the starting weapons are so effective. There's barely any fucking need to even like experiment with the the more like exotic guns. So it's like, towards the end you end up getting like a rail gun and a fucking chain gun equivalent. So it's like, oh, cool. You have like a pistol that sets people on fire and shit, and a fucking tether gun where you can fill people with these fucking like needles. Then you hit like the alternate fire, and it forces all of the needles to fucking like attract to each other, like it magnetizes them or whatever. So you can fucking like, you have like two people with needles in them and fucking like slams them together, or you fucking shoot the needles on the fucking wall. They fucking, slam into the fucking wall and shit. So it's like, that'd be cool to experiment with, but fucking 95% of the game I found it's like there's really no fucking reason to even like not to stick with this, like an assault rifle and the shotgun. It's fucking, it's like, I could do the other shit, but I mean the assault rifle and the shotgun, it's like, dude, like these are both like just really good fucking guns. They're useful for any situation. That's like the most common ammo you're gonna find, so it's fucking, you can hot swap between them, you know what I mean? So you just like, oh, if I just have these two, I can just hit Y and just hot swap, just keep, Y, and then it's like shotgun, fucking assault rifle and shit. You don't have to like pause the game to go into the fucking like weapon wheel and fuck around with that shit and be like, oh, I'm gonna use a whatever fucking, the fucking settler pistol and blood. It's like, I just stick with these two. Why not stay with them? Again, it's not like certain weapons are like weaker or like immune to certain enemies, or like fucking. It's not like this gun's a counter to this guy or whatever. It's just fucking like a long range fucking AR. Fucking if they get close up, switch to the shotgun and repeat. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh, something that's a lot of armor. Like maybe it'd make more sense to use like some other weapon or whatever. But it's fucking like, oh, I can just use the powers. It's like I can just use the shockwave and just fucking strip them off. Strip the fucking armor off and then whatever, just keep shooting them. So there you go. Fucking more pro tips. So the main complaint with the original Rage, like when the first game came out, was it's like, oh, it's too light with the RPG elements, you know what I mean? It's like that, and it's like, oh, the story just ended abruptly, and it kind of sucked or whatever. Well, Rage 2 continues that tradition, where, as far as like numbers go, like it's like, there's a ton of like upgrades and collectibles and fucking like side missions and shit, but they're all exceptionally fucking shallow. Like the whole thing with fucking Rage, like the first Rage, why it was like technically impressive anyway. It was just fucking like super like impressive, ambitious game to look at. Regardless of how you felt about like about it otherwise, if you liked it, you hated it, it's fucking, it's like technically like the way it's fucking set up and shit is fucking amazing. Still is, like it's still fucking for a game, again, for a game that came out when it did, it's fucking like, wow, it was really advanced and fucking, it just looks better than a lot of games from back then. It looks unique and shit. Mega textures, if you remember that. So what they were going for was fucking the more they wanted to have like more or less like no repeated textures in the game, where everything was just kind of like handcrafted, hand drawn, and you could you get to a new place and there's fucking like always shit that's going to be there that you hadn't seen before. You know what I mean? It was still like fairly linear and fucking like directed, but again, like that could have just been like a corridor shooter again. But there's fucking, it's like, oh, they blew the fucking scope up, or they had just like the hub worlds you could like drive around and all that shit. The different towns and shit, and then fucking it's like, but then it'd be like, all right, well, here's your mission. You go to a mission, and then it's like, here's like a well-designed Doom level, essentially. It's just fucking like, all right, well, here's like the here's the linear fucking scripted part, and then like here's all this other shit, and you know what I mean. But everything like felt different, and but that's not the case in Rage 2. So if you have all those fucking like raider bases that are like you know, throughout the fucking, just like scattered throughout the fucking world, I mean they might be like laid out differently, but you can almost like you can almost see like the tile set that they used, and they just fucking like stamped down all these fucking like prefabricated fucking buildings and like crates and bridges and shit to like make it, like to make the level. Is fucking, just looks very like repetitive. It's fucking, it's just, you're looking at the same shit over and over again. Very, very one note, very, very light looking and feeling, and fucking bright too. I do, again, I think the graphics are great. I do like the look of the game, but after playing for a while, there's so much fucking neon and sun and fucking like lens flare and shit. It would give me like a real fucking like headache after a while. It's fucking, I turn it off and just be like, oh man, why do I feel like shit? Like, why is my fucking head like pounding? It's fucking like, oh, I was just fucking playing that goddamn game for so long. It's so fucking bright. Yeah, I mean, Rage 2 was like cotton candy, or, you know, it's light, fluffy, and pink, but there's very little substance to it, you know. It's like, yeah, like shooting the guns is fun, but after 25 hours of it, I'm like, I don't know, I'm just doing the same shit over and over, dude. I'm just kind of ready for this to end, you know. The story might as well be fucking non-existent, you know what I mean? If you're a ranger, you go out in the wasteland to help people and kill some fucking cartoon bad guy robot and whatever, like that's it, and it's at the end, like that's pretty much the fucking story of Rage 2, like summed up. The towns that you visit are completely empty. Like there isn't any like gambling or fucking collectible card game mini games or anything like that. Like that was in the original Rage. Which is odd, because they'll have like a bunch of NPCs lying like in the towns and shit, walking around, but and every single one of them will be named. Like you put your cursor over them, will fucking like, you know, they took the time to name each one and fucking like whatever. But yeah, the handful that you can talk to, they just fucking blather on for a bit and fucking, and they'll be like, oh, I have a problem, blah 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 blah, and then like all that does is add like a question mark to your map if you haven't found that location yet. But you can just drive around and find it anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's a unique quest you're getting from these people. And if you already found that, you know, if you found that, if you go out and like go do the fucking what they're asking me for and fucking like clear it out, then come back to them, all they do is they're like, gee, thanks or whatever, thanks for doing that, and they don't give you like a reward or anything like that. You can, like, that's it. Just fucking, it's like a little dialogue of like, oh, cool, thanks, and then like, no, that's it. So you can pick up like bounties from like, there's like a bounty board in each town. It's like, all right, there'll be like 3 on the board you can pick up. But that just adds another fucking marker to the map. Like that's it. And you go there it's not like it's probably somewhere you've already been before. But there'll just be like a handful of standard, like just regular fucking enemies there to kill, like fucking 4 or 5 of them. And it's like, all right, cool, you did the bounty. Here's like $50 they give you, which is pretty much like nothing. It's like nothing at all, really. Again, there's like no story attached to it, no nothing fucking unique. It's just the same shit you've been doing. It's fucking like, oh, these 3 guys are highlighted, go kill them. Here's $50. It's like fucking cool. It's, I don't know. Yeah, what really disappointed me was the Mutant Bash TV and fucking the racing track or whatever. So those are back again. They had this shit in the original Rage, but they're so fucking shallow now. Like before, it was like, oh man, this is pretty cool, but they could have done more with it. Like this is like they just scaled back completely, where it's almost like non-existent here. I don't know why they even fucking bothered like putting that in now. So yeah, I mean, Mutant Bash TV, that's the game show where you're supposed to be like Smash TV kind of thing, where you're going like room to room, or the Running Man. You know, it's filled with like hazards and fucking increasingly difficult fucking enemies in each room. So in the first game, there were like a couple different variants of it. I think there were like, there are 2 different locations you could go to. And it's like, again, in the first game, it didn't really feel fleshed out then. Well, like it's like, you should have been, it's like, this is kind of cool, but I should have been able to go through it, multiple times with like a bunch of different fucking like variants or like challenges and shit of fucking, different, maybe the same shit, like the same rooms, but different enemy makeups and all this shit. Almost like whatever, do like a Doom snap map type of thing or whatever, or fucking, again, Doom and Halo. Pretty much what this game is, like playing the Halo with like skulls on, like that type of thing. But yeah, they're just kind of like one and done, like story sequences, and it's fucking like, I kind of felt like a missed opportunity. They spent all this time making this shit, making this big setup, and then it's fucking like, you run through it once and that's it. And then it's basically the fucking same in Rage 2, but it's just not nearly as fucking good as it was in the first one. Where they do even like more of a setup. You get like one of the few real fucking cutscenes in the game where you have like some old broad with like sex slaves, and she's being all like theatrical and setting the shit up. And fucking, dragging him around on fucking, it's like, here's like, guys drinking whiskey and blah, 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 this big fucking scene. So you get the setup, and then you enter the arena and fucking, I don't know, there's a few fucking mutants, here's some fucking mutants in this room, then you go to the next room, here's some more mutants, and then fucking like, I don't know, like one room, like the floor is like electrified or something. And that's about it. Then you're done. It takes maybe like 10 minutes to go through it, if that. And then fucking whatever, you go up and it's like, I can play that again, right? With like different shit. And then you go out and there's like a board or like a note before you walk in, and all that is like the alterations you can do, like the variants. Like, do you want to play again, but only with a pistol or something like that? It's fucking like, no, not really. I don't want to do the same shit just with fucking limit me to one fucking gun. Like, I don't want to do that. And then there was like a second location again where it's a big fucking like setup of fucking like, you go, it's pretty cool. It's like out in the swamp somewhere. There's fucking like all this shit going on. It's all this fucking, all these like billboards and all this shit. And, you get out there, it's like, cool, so there is more to this, right? you fucking get out there, and all that is just a shooting gallery. Is all. You just like stand on a platform and try to shoot these mutants that fucking get launched out of cannons. So they're coming at you out of the cannons. You have to you have like a shotgun, and you have to like line up like, all right, shoot them with a shotgun, and it's not good. Like that's not good at all. First I was having a lot of trouble like even hitting anybody for whatever reason with the fucking shotgun from that far away, and just fucking, I'm like, it just sucks. And like that, again, that's all you can do in that second location is you just stand in one spot while shit comes at you and you try to shoot it. And it's fucking, I don't know, like before that was even over, I'm like, I'm just done with it. I don't want to do this anymore. Like this isn't fucking fun. And then the racing is fucking hot garbage. I think the cars control fine, and they're okay, like the vehicle controls, but, you get to like the dedicated racetrack. It's literally one fucking race. That's all there is. There's one race you can do. One car. They limit you to one fucking car. There's no weapons allowed. You just drive 2 laps versus these broken fucking rubber banding AI. And you do that again. You do it once for like the main story, like the main fucking, one of the main missions is fucking, go to this racetrack and prove yourself. So it's like, you get there and it's fucking like, you race once, and then it's fucking, I can race, can I just keep racing again and shit? And, all you do is you win fucking car skins each time. It's fucking, here's a skin for this particular car you were using, but it's a car you would never use outside of the fucking the racetrack. You know what I mean? Like your standard car is fucking faster and it's fucking, you know what I mean? And it has fucking like weapons on it and shit, you know? So you do the one race and it's like, all right, can I go? It's like, you can keep racing, but do you want to keep doing that one race over and over again? And it's like, nope, nope. I was like, I kept trying it to make sure that fucking I wasn't like missing something there. But again, the first rage, it was like a fleshed out like progression, with the races in there. It's like, multiple fucking tracks, multiple circuits, like, elimination races, there's like power ups on the track, like fucking like Twisted Metal or something like that, or fucking Burnout or something, and fucking, different fucking rules and different races and shit. Different, different cars, different this, different that. It's just all this like different shit you can go up and like get like medals and all this. But yeah, again, here, Rage 2 was up, same track, same rules, and the AI was actually completely fucking broken after that first race. I'd be racing, I'd get into, first place, and then just like another car would magically fucking like get a lap ahead of me. If it's got lap 1, you're fucking first place, and how to get into second place. There's a little bar up on the top that shows where the other races are, and you just see it was fucking like teleports, like a lap ahead. And like he's almost done already. Like after I'm on like the not even done with the first lap, like it just fucking like it was just broken as shit. So shitty glitch that I worked around that somehow, but I don't know. It's fucking. I think I just like I'm just gonna keep my eye on this guy who's teleporting, and then fucking like we can't teleport until I just like go slow and just stay in the pack to like the last fucking race, because again it's like rubber banding shitty AI anyway. So yeah, but it's fucking, and then fucking, it's like, hey, you won, like, here's a skin. It's like, dude, fuck you, dude. Like, I don't know, I'm not doing that anymore. And yeah, I mean, that about does it for Rage, too. I mean, it's fun. The shooting's fucking satisfying. I mean, you do it a lot, and then it's fucking over. It's fucking, nothing really sticks. It's a fucking popcorn game, a fucking cotton candy game. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's fucking mindless. Not nearly as good as the first game, I'll say that much. But it's not fucking remarkable enough either way to like rate a review about it. It's like, I played it. I really don't have a fucking strong opinion about it one way or another, and fucking, I don't know. Yep. It's Rage 2, unfortunately. So yeah, I guess I'll have to find something else to do on my vacation, like fucking, I don't know, Get a Life maybe. The TV show Get a Life. Maybe I'll fucking rewatch that. But anyway, I'm off. I'm done. www.gruntfreepress.com. Podcast at gruntfreepress.com. Before you shut this shit off. I'm absolute deicide. Yeah, next week you get the fucking usual haggard. I've been fucking chain smoking and fucking masturbating nonstop for 7 days straight episode. So look forward to that, because I know I will. I'll have a fucking ragey breakdown. So that's the best I've got. Whatever, I'm on fucking vacation. So fuck yourself.
This is a story about it's about a good story, and every good story, as it says, has to have a beginning, middle, and an end. And this story is about L-O-V-E. Love trouble! Love trouble! You know, if you abuse it, you're gonna lose it. And if you lose it, you're bound to abuse it. You're bound to abuse it. You ain't gonna be able to find it. You ain't gonna be able to find it. You ain't gonna be able to mind it. You ain't gonna be able to mind it. You ain't gonna be able to hide it. You ain't gonna be able to hide it. You ain't gonna be able to hide it. You ain't gonna be feeling so fine when you're looking for a little loving further on down the line. And there's a story about a young lady with a long... What's that? Hey, what? All right, Rapunzel with the longest brown hair. She had it right down. She used to tie it in big knots. And this young fella, he was going after her. He was going after her so bad. And he'd take her out to the finest places. They go downtown. He'd take her over to Sausalito, and they'd be hanging out at the Trident, having a veal parmesan. And one day he calls her up. She ain't home, and he calls her up the next day, and she ain't home. He starts feeling lonely and blue. He do not know what to do. He calls her up again, and she's home. He says, "Hey, Reputer. Hey, Dawn, this is the old lover boy. Come on out." And she goes, "I can't, I'm busy." And the receiver goes, "Thanks." Well, he got mad, and he started huffing and puffing and getting over to a house. He started getting over to a house, and you can always tell her house. She lived on the 3rd floor, and she always used to have 3 red lights burning in her window. And he was about to, like, do something like sing one of his favorite songs, like Volare or Tenderly, or maybe People Who Need People, one of them. Then he looks and he sees a silhouette, and it's Rapunzel, and he sees another silhouette, and it happens to be his best friend. He gets over, he starts ringing on that bell, and nobody answers. He starts kicking on the door. He gets down and jumps underneath the window and says, "Open up the door, you bitch! Let me up on your ladder of love! There's a woofa goofa mama doopy little lover boy! You know, I'm telling you, I think I must have. You know, baby, I think I must have. You know, baby, I think I must have. You know, I must have got lost." Yeah. Never thought about tomorrow. Seemed like a long time to come. How could I be so blind, baby, not to see you were the one? I let you slip on from me, baby, and I let you walk on by. She loved it for me. She loved, and I let her die. Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down. Must have got lost. I got lost. Give away them days. Don't know why I let you leave me, baby. I don't know. You know, it gets so hard when you see a good loving coming. Baby, I've always seen it go. Must have got lost. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Must have got lost. I got lost. Give away the day. Don't know why I let you leave me, baby. You know, I don't know. You know, it's hard when you see love coming. Baby, I've always seen it go. Must have got lost. I got lost. Must have got lost somewhere. Must have got lost. I got lost. Give away them days. You're mine. Just don't understand. And I just can't understand. And I just don't understand. Must have got lost. Must have got lost somewhere down the line. Must have got lost. I got lost. Give away them days you mine. Must have got lost. I got lost. Must have got lost. I got lost, baby. I got lost. Come on, get it up. I got crossed, baby. Stole my love, got my heart. Suck it down the line now. Got my heart. I got the good break.